Welcome back, Mythic Explorers, to another deep dive into the fascinating world of Greek mythology. In our last episode, we explored the primordial deities, the protogenoi, the very foundation of existence. Now, we journey into the next stage of creation, where we will delve into the rise of the Titans, their impact on the world, their complex relationships, and the eventual fall that led to the rise of the Olympian gods. Get ready for tales of power, ambition, and cosmic conflict. But before we do, if you are someone with an interest in the myths and legends of the past, looking to hear more stories about heroes, monsters, and men lost to time, then don't forget to like and subscribe to follow along as we post twice a week and continue to dive in our very own mythic journey. We've touched on the Titans before and know they were powerful beings who preceded the Olympian gods. But their stories go far beyond a simple family tree or a war between generations. Many of their tales have been lost to time. So join me as we piece together fragments of these forgotten myths, exploring the Titans' individual stories, their powers, and their impact on lost legends. As we learned in the previous episode, the protogenoi, like Gaia, the earth, and Uranus, the sky, were the fundamental forces of the universe. From their union came the Titans, the next generation of powerful beings. These weren't just gods, they were the very embodiment of cosmic power. The Titans are the bridge between the primordial elements and the familiar pantheon of gods and goddesses. While the main Olympian gods have clear roles and stories, the Titans' narratives are often fragmented and incomplete. Unlike the Olympian gods, who have many detailed myths associated with them, the Titans' stories are often more obscure. This makes them all the more intriguing, as it leaves space for interpretation, speculation, and the potential discovery of something new. With that being said, let's dive into some of these lost tales, starting with the first generation of Titans. Oceanus, the Titan of the great world-encircling river, considered the source of all fresh water. Tethys, Titaness of the primal front of fresh water, and wife of Oceanus. Hyperion, the Titan of light, often associated with the sun. Thea, Titaness of sight, and the shining light of the sky, and wife of Hyperion. Cous, Titan of intelligence, and husband to Phoebe. Phoebe, Titaness of the bright intellect and prophecy, wife of Cous. Creus, the Titan associated with the constellations, and husband to Eurbea. Lapidus, Titan of mortality, father of Atlas, Prometheus, Epimetheus, and Monitus. Mnemosyne, the Titaness of memory, and the mother of the 9 muses. Themis, the Titaness of divine law and order. Rhea, Titaness of fertility, motherhood, and generation, the mother of the soon Olympians. Kronos, the youngest and most powerful of the Titans, the Titan of time and destructive harvest. the father of the soon-to-be Olympians. In our previous episode, Kronos, with the help of his mother Gaia, would lead the overthrow of Uranus. With this action, Kronos became the new ruler of the cosmos, establishing a reign of power with his Titan brethren. The Titans would continue to shape the world, though their rule was not necessarily benevolent. While some Titans were associated with positive aspects like intelligence, law, memory, and light, others, like Kronos, were driven by paranoia and tyranny. Kronos married his sister Rhea. They had children, but fearing a prophecy that one of them would overthrow him, he swallowed each child upon their birth. The beginning of the Greek story is an example of history repeating itself. Just as the protogenoi, Uranus, the sky, feared to lose his power to his Titan children, the same story would repeat to Kronos, the new ruler of the universe. And just as his mother Gaia would help him overthrow his father, Rhea would do the same for her children. Rhea, grieved by this act, knew she needed a plan when she was pregnant with her sixth child, Zeus. So upon his birth, she hid him away in Crete, giving Kronos a swaddled stone in his place. The reign of the Titans was not to last. The prophecy that Kronos feared came to pass. Zeus, hidden away and raised in secret, grew into a mighty god, and with the help of his siblings, whom he freed from Kronos' belly, challenged Kronos for control of the cosmos. This led to the Great Titanmachy, a great war between the Titans and the Olympian gods. The Olympians would emerge victorious, with Zeus at their head, banishing the Titans to Tartarus, the dark abyss of the underworld. While the main Olympian gods have clear roles in story, the Titans' narratives are often fragmented and incomplete. Unlike the Olympian gods, who have many detailed myths associated with them, the Titan stories are often more obscure. For example, Oceanus. We know he was the Titan of the great world-encircling river, but the extent of his influence and the stories of his actions beyond this are often lost. Was he a benevolent ruler, or did he have darker ambitions like his younger brother Kronos that were not written down? Tethys is a titaness of the primal front of fresh water. The myths around her have largely faded, but she was considered a significant source of life and renewal. What were her interactions with mortals or other divine beings? How did she differ from her partner, Oceanus? Hyperion and Thea. These titans of light and sight were important figures, but we mostly hear of their offspring, Helios and Selene, the sun and the moon respectively. What other mysteries did they uncover in the universe? Coeus and Phoebe, the titans of intellect and prophecy, were surely involved in great schemes, but their stories remain untold. Perhaps they were not as flashy as the war of other titans. Then there are more well-known titans, such as Kronos and Rhea. While we know that Kronos overthrew his father Uranus and swallowed his children to prevent a prophecy, the details of his reign are often vague. What was life like under Kronos' rule? What laws did he impose, And what were the biggest victories or challenges before he was overthrown by his son Zeus? Where did the prophecy come from? What about Rhea, who hid away Zeus from her husband Kronos? We know that she was the mother of the Olympians, but how did her experience with Kronos change her? Who raised Zeus on the island of Crete? These missing pieces of the puzzle leave much to the imagination. The Titans' relationship with mortals also provides avenues for lost myths. Lapidus, the father of Prometheus, is mostly known through the myth of his son, Prometheus, who stole fire from the gods. But what about Lapidus' own interactions with humans? How did he view them? And what influence did he have on early mortals and on his son? Mnemosyne, the Titaness of memory, was mother to the 9 muses, yet her own stories are often overlooked. Did she teach the earliest poets and artists? How did she safeguard the wisdom and creativity of the ages? Themis, the Titaness of divine law and order. What impact did she have on the order of the universe during the time of the Titans? How did her power conflict with that of Kronos? Why have the stories of the Titans been lost? One reason is the lack of a single definitive text like the Bible for Greek mythology. The early myths were part of an oral tradition, and many details may have been lost in the process of retelling and eventually writing. The victors write history, as they say. So with the rise of the Olympians, their myths became the dominant story, and some of the stories of the Titans faded from memory. The loss of these Titan myths leaves many unanswered questions between the time of the Protogenoi and that of the Olympians. But they also offer room for us to imagine new tales and to celebrate the mystery inherent to Greek mythology. The Titans were not simply the bad guys overthrown by the Olympians, but complex characters with their own unique histories and motivations. Exploring these lost stories helps us to appreciate the depth and richness of Greek mythology, revealing the forgotten chapters of its grand narrative. In our next episode, we will delve into the rise of the Olympian gods, their individual stories, and their impact on the world of Greek mythology. We will explore how the transition from the Titans to the Olympians shaped the stories of gods, heroes, monsters, and men. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like and subscribe for more in-depth exploration of the fascinating world of Greek mythology. And always, thanks for watching. The devotee of myth is in a way a philosopher, for myth is made up of things that cause wonder. Aristotle.